In the offseason, MLB teams have the capability to drastically alter their franchise. They can whip out the checkbook, write an exorbitantly large number with a ton of zeros at the end of it, and sign the biggest free agents to their squad. This is usually a good thing and oftentimes completely changes the direction that your team is going in. However, sometimes it doesn't always go according to plan. Sometimes that big free agent that you mortgage the house to get onto your team isn't all that he's cracked up to be. The Toronto Blue Jays are at a major crossroads right now and might be doing exactly what I just described, fitting the bill for a player who just isn't worth it. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. In this one, folks, we're going to be talking about the most recent reports about the Toronto Blue Jays potentially linking up with Matt Chapman again, and the immense implications that paying for him would have on this team moving forward. Before we do, I encourage you guys to hit the like button and smash the subscribe button if you enjoy baseball and Toronto Blue Jays content so you don't miss any future videos. Also, for those of you who have noticed, I haven't been in the most recent videos that we've been posting on the channel. It's because I was on vacation, and also literally like 10 minutes prior to filming this video, I just tested positive for COVID, so I totally apologize, guys, if I'm a little nasally just getting through it, guys, but I am back to cover what is going to be an absolutely electric Toronto Blue Jays offseason. With all that being said, folks, let's get into the video. So just yesterday, it was revealed that the Toronto Blue Jays are making a big push to keep Matt Chapman on the team. Now, on the surface, this sounds good. You know, I mean, Matt Chapman is one of the best third basemen on the free agency market, if not the best. And the Toronto Blue Jays, they currently do not have a starting third baseman, so bringing him back onto the team, it does make a lot of sense in that regard. The Blue Jays do have some promising prospects who could come up and play that position eventually, but all of those guys would be rookies, and if you're a contending ball club walking into the season with a rookie starting third baseman, not necessarily where you want to be. So obviously the fit, it's there. You know, he would make perfect sense to come back onto the squad. The problem is with the amount of money that he's asking for and the time that he wants guaranteed on said team that he signs with. MLB Deadline News says the Blue Jays offered well over $100 million to third baseman Matt Chapman this spring, but never came close to an agreement on an extension with him, per John Heyman. Heyman notes that Chapman is probably shooting for $150 million plus this winter. And let me just come out and say right now, folks, that is crazy. What the fuck? This is no hate on Matt Chapman at all, folks. Like, I like Chappie. You know, I think he's a stand-up dude. Really great guy, and defensively speaking, absolutely phenomenal. But with all due respect, there is no way that Matt Chapman is worth $150 million. In the 2 years that he's been with the Toronto Blue Jays, Matt Chapman has a batting average of .234, an on-base of .327, a slugging of .429, and an OPS of .756. Definitely not bad offensive numbers, but really not great either. It should also be noted that the second half of last year for Chapman was truthfully quite terrible offensively speaking, and he was a big component to the lack of production that the Blue Jays had with runners in scoring position. Now let's compare those Matt Chapman numbers to a guy like George Springer, somebody who is getting paid $150 million by the Toronto Blue Jays right now, and who signed that deal at the same age that Matt Chapman is going to be when he signs his. Whoa, time for your daily Betway breather. A quick reminder that the best place to bet is on Betway. Must be 19 years of age or older to play. In collaboration with iGaming Ontario, please bet responsibly. Now, back to the content. In the 2 years prior to signing his contract, Springer had a batting average of .284, an on-base of .376, a slugging of .576, and an OPS of .953. The difference between what Springer was doing and what Matt Chapman is doing is absolutely massive. And yes, I know you need to factor in Matt Chapman's defense, but to that point, George Springer, he's no slouch defensively either. Basically, what I'm saying here, folks, is that I do not believe that Matt Chapman is worth $150 million, and I'm kind of shocked at the Toronto Blue Jays for quote-unquote making a big push for him. By signing Matt Chapman to a contract like that, that is going to seriously limit what the Toronto Blue Jays are capable of doing in free agency for not only this year, but also for years to come. It would also make it extremely difficult to extend guys like Bo and Vlad. And frankly, guys, if the decision is to re-sign Matt Chapman or to extend Bo or Vlad, I'm gonna pick Bo and Vlad 10 times out of 10. Getting Chapman on a contract like this also means that you have hundreds of millions of dollars locked up in guys who are gonna be 30 years or older. Chapman, Springer, Gausman, Bassett. I mean, that is a huge chunk of money going to those guys, and they're not getting any younger. Not saying at all that this is what would happen to the Toronto Blue Jays, but if we look over the New York Yankees and we look at Stanton and Donaldson and several of their other aging veterans, right? They're in a situation right now where they're paying those guys millions upon millions of dollars, and they're just not producing like they used to. I like Chapman. I would like him to come back onto this team, but if the number is $150 million or more than that, I think the Toronto Blue Jays need to be looking elsewhere. But folks, let me know what you think about all this in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, go Jays go.